What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Six Man Blitz. It's been a minute since we've done a podcast. As you can see, we're a little darker. We just got back from Jamaica and we're getting back into the swing of things. But tomorrow is a huge night for Chicago sports. It's for a huge night for the whole city of Chicago. It's the draft lottery. The Bulls have an opportunity. It's a small, rare chance, 0.1%, that rare. But we could possibly get Victor Wembanyama. We could possibly get a generational talent. And if that happens, that could possibly save Chicago Bulls, because right now we're probably going down a slow path down to maybe another rebuild. We might have to get rid of DeRozan, Vooch, all the players. It's not looking good for us next season. But if we get a guy like that, I like our chances after that.
I don't like our chances of getting him. You just said 0.01
it's not good. I don't know if those are exact chances. I was just saying shit, but it's not great.
Yeah, it's time for us to build to the draft, and maybe we could get a diamond in the rough like a Giannis was, or a Kawhi was, or even Steph.
Another Patrick Williams, maybe. So. All right, let's start off talking about the NBA playoffs. Now it's getting down to the last four teams. Now it's interesting though. Yeah. The last four teams that are still here are, it's a rematch from the bubble. The four bubble teams that were in the conference finals, and the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Heat, Celtics. So is that just interesting, or is it just ironic? What are your thoughts about that?
I think our thoughts. You can immediately throw out the bubble as a fluke. That's one of my favorite go-tos.
The Mickey Mouse championship ring.
Even Miami, you know what I'm saying? Coming from an A seed, lost the first play-in game. And then LA completely, literally a tale of two seasons. Once they made the trades they did after the deadline. So looking at both Eastern and Western Conference Finals, I'm happy to see that there's a little bit of parity and a little bit of underdog stories, especially with Miami. Even though, they're probably I think they're tied for the most in the last couple of years. So
yeah, they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals
Finals
3 of the last 4 years. Some crazy shit with just Jimmy Butler.
So right, so. Hats off to these top four teams, and I'm excited to see LeBron now make it.
We're praying on his downfall. Now, if LeBron, somehow beats the Nuggets, then we're going to be rooting for the Celtics or the Heat. You know how we get down here.
Facts. I do like the Celtics to win it all, though. Just looking at who's left, what they bring to the table, what they 1-2 punch, I'm taking them to over everybody else.
So you think the Celtics then should be the favorite coming out? Out of all the four teams left, the Celtics are the favorite?
Yeah, they're my favorite. And then I think they'll be waiting for the Nuggets after a long series with the LA. So I see them winning in 6.
That's interesting. All right. Let's jump into, the Boston Celtics Heat series. You have, Boston winning that series, but with this series, maybe Tyler Hero comes back down in the road. Who knows? But with this Heat team, with the Celtics, though, my thing with them is I don't think they've been as good as, last year. I'm going to keep saying this. Now, if had the Philadelphia 76ers not completely collapsed and their starters and their stars, play a little better, Tobias Harris literally was their best scorer in the last game. 19 points too. Harden and Embiid both choked in that game. So really, and they could have ended the series in Philly too as one thing. So this Boston team, I'm not as confident in them as I was, the year they went to the finals, the year they beat Giannis. This isn't the same Boston team. So I think maybe Miami has more of a shot, but it's going to take a village. It's going to take everybody with Miami. Everybody's going to have to be knocking down shots. Jimmy Butler's going to have those performances where it's like a 40-point triple-double to beat Boston, but I still think it can get done.
you'd be by yourself because they got a 3% chance of winning the series. So you asking a lot for Jimmy, and with the wing defenders that Boston can continually throw at him, and the rim defenders they can continue to throw at him. So it's going to be a long series, and they've been there, done that. This is not a new team for either one of these teams. They literally, this is a rematch from last year. So I think Boston having that extra year of experience now to lean on, even though it seems like they've been
here forever. You know, Boston, every year they're in there in that conversation. Tatum and Brown, their first couple seasons, they were battling it out with LeBron. You know, I just saw a stat today on ESPN. That was like that was the only game 7 Tatum has lost was to LeBron. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
But
he just scored the most in game 7 history. So no, I'm not concerned. My only concern is like the inconsistencies. Like Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum cannot go into a fourth quarter with playing the game he did before he dropped 16.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the defensive prowess to hang with anybody left.
Al Horford even be locking up, bro. He was locking up Embiid the other day.
LA Boston finals rematch.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah.
Context.
Those two legendary teams battling out. Who's gonna get their like 20th championship rafters and shit? It's gonna be interesting. But so with the playoffs still happening right now, you know, the 4 teams left. Let's go through and rank the top 5 players left in the playoffs. This is what I was thinking, all right? Let me see my list. So first one I think it has to be Joker. I think, you know, in the playoffs, you can give the nod to Tatum, but I think Joker has been the most consistent in the playoffs. You know, whether it's been scoring, he had like 53 points that one game, but he's always, look at the triple doubles he's had in this playoffs. He's always been consistent with his performance and affecting the game. So I think he's got to be the best player left in the playoffs right now. Tatum is second. Third, I think I got Jimmy. And then fourth, AD. And that's big though, because AD, he could be up there higher on the list, but he's not consistent.
For sure.
And then 5, I think, you know, LeBron. Gotta give the nod to LeBron. I was thinking, you know, Jamal Murray, but you gotta give the nod to LeBron. What are your thoughts?
I think not a bad list, but I'm gonna have to go. I think Jokic and AD 1 and 2, just because of that matchup is gonna be the winner of that matchup wins that series. I think I think AD has to be dominant for them to win. I don't think if they just cancel each other out, that's not going to be good enough because Denver has the depth and can get it from a million different ways. And then I'll go 3, Jason Tatum, for sure. And then obviously Jimmy Butler after that, but I'm going to throw in Jaylen Brown.
Ooh. I think
that 1-2 punch in Boston is fantastic, and if they can finally connect the dots this year and win it all, I think that will take their partnership to new heights. Honestly,
he's going to be a huge reason if they win it all this year. It's going to be his performance alone. And there's been times, you know, we've all seen it in the playoffs where he's looked better than Tatum, and he's been more clutcher than Tatum. So I wouldn't argue too hard with you on that one. But, you know, getting back to Jimmy Butler, and one thing I was thinking about, I seen it on Twitter too. You know, I see a lot of my shit on Twitter. But freaking Jimmy Butler, if he would win a title this year, wouldn't that be like the hardest championship ever won by a superstar?
Without a doubt.
Like that exceeds every other championship anybody has ever won.
But he ain't gonna do it.
But if he does, it would be achieving the impossible.
True.
And just looking at, you know, Tyler Hero going down, Victor Oladipo, he wasn't really a big part of their team. You know, he was, you know, struggling to get in minutes, but him losing him was a big part because, you know, Tyler Hero's out. And you got Duncan Robinson. You're mad at him. You're not giving him minutes in the regular season, but you got to give him playoff minutes, huge minutes. So just all the stuff he's had to deal with. I mean, shit. If he wants an extension or whatever, even if he's not up for a contract, you need to give him an extension. What he's done with this Miami Heat team, 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, 1 final appearance in the last 4 years of being with the Heat for 4 years. Isn't that crazy?
Loco. And we don't even give him his just due as much as we need to, because it seems like he's just waiting for the playoffs. And so many players are that way too, where they'll turn it up, and then you got B who will do the opposite.
Yeah, try
to blame somebody else. He always blames somebody else.
Yeah, they were talking shit about him stealing Giannis's quote and shit too. They're like, he's won a championship. He could say that. You can't. But
right.
Nah, it's just crazy with load management and stuff. You see players, try to, sit games and stuff to be ready for the playoffs. Jimmy still plays a good percentage of the games during the season, though. He still plays a good percentage. And I don't think people look at the regular season him, 21 points per game, beginning the playoffs. He's damn near going crazy, having those 40-point performances, the 50-point performance against the Bucks. He's next level in the playoffs. He's arguably, where is he at in the conversation if it's playoffs, Jimmy Butler? Where would you put him at? I mean, we just put him in the top 5 left right now, but, out of all the guys in the NBA left.
Man, he's top 10 playoff-wise.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of guys dip. Embiid fell out of it. Giannis struggled. And he just strikes fear into the opponent. You know what I'm saying?
He'll lock up too.
Even New York, he went in they building and made it happen continually. So this guy is a man amongst boys, and even the story of the Minnesota practice, only furthers the legacy of Jimmy Buckets.
That's just crazy.
It just makes me more. It's bittersweet because I've always been a fan of him, and his mentality, and you've seen him year over year just take the next step and continue to prove these playoff pushes aren't flukes whatsoever.
This shit is for real. He does it every year.
And he's one of the greatest in the game, and he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no question.
He's got to be. Hopefully, he can find his way back to Chicago, maybe, and help us maybe get into the playoffs. I don't think he'll take us.
Sweet man.
I don't think he'll take us to even us to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't think that works with us. It only works with good teams.
He's literally the only piece we're missing.
Yeah. We need somebody like him.
Buckets.
That's what Philly needed too. Philly, if they didn't, they made the stupid ass decision to, pay Tobias Harris instead of paying Jimmy Butler. And look what that did.
That's crazy.
But let's get more into Philly. Their collapse in the playoffs. We hinted at it a little. But who do you think deserves the most blame for this? Doc Rivers is in the name. Joel Embiid, James Harden. Who do you think you would give the most blame to how that series turned out?
I think you start with Embiid at the top, being the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You can never go out in the game 7 with that type of performance.
Yes.
And call yourself the MVP. It's unacceptable. Then you go to Doc, because this is clearly a trend.
The last 10 playoff games or the last 10 game 7s or some shit he has the track record of just losing these shits easily. I
know he has a brand for the NBA, and he did that fantastic speech in the bubble. But all that hey, sometimes you gotta believe the numbers you're seeing. Shit, this continues to happen.
Numbers don't lie.
Feeling with him, and that's what the playoffs do. They bring out, they expose your weaknesses, and every season they continue to expose his. So
it don't matter who he's coaching. Don't matter what players he has. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's always a game 7 collapse or going down. I mean, losing when you're up 3-1, losing in game 7. So it's, Doc Rivers, I think he's still a pretty good coach, but right now I think, The Sixers, I think they need to look in a different direction. Monty Williams got fired from the Suns, and I don't think that would be a terrible. Go ahead and hire Monty. Fire Doc Rivers, bring in Monty, because the only thing holding him back with the Suns was DeAndre Ayton. And Embiid is not, obviously is a huge step up from Ayton. So I think he would be a great coach to fill in with that. But the other thing you got to deal with is James Harden, him flirting with going back to Houston.
I think he's just letting them know, like, hey, I got options.
Yeah, for sure. Leverage. I think that's what it's about. Yeah.
He should stay in Philly. It's the closest they've ever gotten.
And the East too. It's always right. Like always wide open. Well, not like necessarily wide open, but any team could come in with the Bucks. I mean, somebody's got to come in and stop the Heat. Because there are teams like if you're good. Those Bucks teams, we've seen them sweep the Heat that season. They didn't go to the Eastern Conference Finals. That Bucks team that went all the way down. They swept the Heat that year. But it's just the East. If you have a good team, you're in the right position, you're doing the right things, you're stepping it up, that you should be able to do something good in the East. And one of the rumors I seen it today, right? You can't trust every source that comes out, but it said James Harden might be trying to go to Phoenix. What do you think about that? Harden, Devin Booker, KD. What do you think about that trio? What could they get done?
Man.
They won't play defense, though. That's the thing. They need some defenders in there.
I think they're better than they are this year, but it ain't enough.
Yeah, if they don't have a bench.
That's all they add. Yeah. they still gonna need
Campaign can't be leading the charge on the bench.
How reliable is KD gonna be for an 82 game season? When he's out there he's gonna perform, but but he gets hurt consistently. James the same way, and even Devin Booker. So
yeah, they all get hurt.
Gotta have that depth, and it's hard to do that. With I guess there's a new collective bargaining agreement going around. People aren't going to be able to spend and just pay the luxury tax like they've done in the past. So the NBA is getting shooken up. I think it's going to be more competitive and better for the game, and hopefully, the Bulls can benefit from it. Because goddamn,
hopefully,
we just a stick in the sand. You don't even know if we're good or bad. We just depend on the night, honestly.
Yeah, Pat Bev saying shit like, "Oh, if I was with them for 82 games, we would have been the 4th seed and 5th seed." That shit laughable, bro.
Team for 82 games, bro.
Off him giving us 4 points a game and like 5 fouls, running sprints.
A locker room guy, though.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe we would win a couple more games, but we wouldn't be.
But the weaker you get, the less motherfuckers trying to hit that shit.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Right.
You're not even nowhere near like that, but you loud as hell. Try to get everybody hyped for this practice.
But so what would you say to, the Bulls maybe going after DeAndre Ayton? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's like, what's the value in that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
like, what's the point?
How much better is he than Vooch? Like with us,
Right, exactly. I don't see that being a huge step up. Now it's depending on how the deal looks, it's not terrible, but
no,
it's not gonna get me jumping out my. I'm like, okay, we got him
jumping out to what?
Not have me jumping out my socks.
No, yeah, for sure.
5 me.
So. Yeah, I think that's a step backwards. Because, like, especially in the East, DeAndre Ayton, you see him not be able to guard Joker. You're seeing him not be able to guard the people in the West. What is he going to do in the East against Giannis and Embiid? Like, and that's what you want. You need a big man that's going to be able to, hold up against those guys. Not too many can, but somebody that just will want to defend, block shots and stuff. I mean, that's what we're talking shit about Vooch not being able to do. So we're going to bring in somebody that does it worse than Vooch? Don't make sense. But Aiden would probably be a pretty good scorer on another team, but hopefully he gets a shot at elsewhere. But hitting more at the Phoenix Suns, what do you think they should do with Chris Paul? What do you think should be their plans? Should they try to get his ass out of there? Him and Aiden, they got to go for sure, or could you see them running back?
It's time to go get Chris Paul up out of there, man.
It's 38.
Costs too much. Yeah, he ain't gonna be there when it count. You can guarantee that. And he's the older you get, the more a defensive liability you are. And if you can't spot up and shoot in 3 and D, game is leaving you, my boy. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and it just
thank you for your service.
One thing I've been seeing too is like him possibly going to LA next year. What do you think about that? Well, LeBron, I mean, facilitator. Remember, Rondo was like one of their, like, he was kind of like starting point guard a little bit later in, later in his career when they won the bubble championship. I don't think that would be a bad fit, but really, you need another person that's not going to be on the court available. You already got AD. LeBron is getting banged up later on in his career too. So
yeah, it depends what that price tag looking like. Rondo, he at the bottom of the bench, so of course,
yeah, his contract was cheap.
It's gonna make sense for him. But everybody else is like, come on, bro.
I think Chris Paul might find his ass somewhere on a young team doing what he did. Remember that one year he was with the Thunder? They went to the playoffs. That's where he might find himself at again before he's done. I don't think he's gonna get a chip. I think it's over for him.
Yeah, he's gonna float around. He might take a team friendly deal and just stay like, hey, if we're trying to win a championship, ain't nobody gonna be mad if he win one in Phoenix.
Nah,
ain't nobody gonna, he was rain chasing. Nah, he was there before they won and he stayed. And so I think it'll be smart for him to stay. Honestly,
yeah. I mean, I don't see too.
I think he'll take a team friendly deal.
Yeah, I don't see too many other teams beating down the doors to get him.
Makes different changes, so you never know.
Yeah.
New owner, and obviously it's going to be a new head coach.
So let's get back to Denver, LA. What do you think about the series? Who's winning the series? How many games?
Ooh, it's going 7, and I got the Nuggets.
Whew. Now, so who are some guys that you think have to step up in the series for it to go 7 and for it to go into Denver's favor?
Jamal Murray, I think it's going to be
huge. He has to be
important for him.
He has to be the second best player
as possible. KCP has to show up, and then as long as Aaron Gordon defends LeBron well, and they have somewhat of an answer for AD, it should be 7 for sure. It's going to be a brawl.
Great series, I think.
For them all.
Denver's really deep, and I really think with this playoffs, Jokic has been doing his thing. He really, low-key, I was taking Embiid over him and all that stuff, but I can't keep defending this nigga. I can't keep defending Embiid, bro. I can't keep saying he's better than Joker. And, I can't say it anymore because Jokic has been playing great this whole playoffs. He's answering the bell. His team's finally healthy, and then the Western Conference Finals again. So I can't, and if he really balls out in the series against the Lakers and he's hard to defend and he does what he's been doing in the first couple series, you think he could overstep Giannis as the best player in the game if he gets a chip?
Oh, without a doubt, because that's all we've said about him in the past is
take your time.
Where's the pudding in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? That's what it matters. Can't be the best player in the world ringless. That don't make no damn sense.
Yeah, that's when Giannis.
What are we playing for if that's the case?
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see him finally get a title. But I like Denver in this series as well. I think they're the deeper team. They're more consistent. Jokic, if he's doing his thing, I don't think AD is going to be able to lock him down and hold him to, and even if he is, him scoring, reduce it, it'll still give you 20 points. And he'll give you fucking a double-double, triple-double. He'll give you, 12 assists, 10 rebounds. I mean, we saw him, what he was doing to Aiden. Shit was a masterclass. So, yeah, Jamal Murray is going to be really huge in the series. I think if he can get it going, he can give you, 30 a couple games, maybe, consistent 20. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, those guys can get it going. Bruce Brown off the bench will be huge too. He was, in double figures in the last series. That's what really helped, the Nuggets get past the Suns and, that gap be there. So I'm excited for the series. I'm excited, the bronze sexuals might get let down in this series. Who knows? Ryan, Jaden had to come at him, let him know. He was talking about I was dreaming, Lakers in 6 and all. He was wilding, but
Yeah.
I mean, if LeBron shuts us up, props to him, but we're still going to take Boston in 7 or Miami in 7.
No question.
So let's get into, the biggest topic that's been happening in the NBA right now. Ja Morant can possibly, could he possibly get suspended the whole year? What do you think? How long should the NBA suspend him for this nonsense?
I couldn't even tell you. Like at this point, everybody done saying what they needed to say. You just need to switch. Not rap shouldn't be it for everybody. If it's that impressionable on you, you need to go ahead and go to R&B or something.
Switch up the playlist.
Make you a few little kids. You find me.
Yeah.
Get out. Stop listening to Young Boy and Dirk.
No, you need to listen to
that new Dirk.
That new Dirk with J. Cole. That's some that lifted spirits.
Right, listen to that new Dirk.
But I just really don't get the shit, man. Again. And his homie in the video too. Man, he put the phone down fast as fuck. Like, hey, as soon as they pull out the camera, Ja Morant pulling out the gun, trying to show it off and shit. It's wild to me.
Sometimes when you do things so often, it's like muscle memory.
Yeah.
So if Young Boy and the camera on you, you start itching and shit. You want to grab the pipe. Let niggas know what you coming with. They said Drewski said that motherfucker was a track and field gun.
A track and gun. Nah, I think the other one he was flexing. It was a little bigger. It was a bigger gun. So I mean, not that matters, but
that don't help suspend his ass a year.
Yeah, so you think Adam Silver's gonna society? You think he's gonna get suspended for a whole year then?
I couldn't even tell you. Like I don't know what they deem as that. I mean, it wasn't like he was. He wasn't letting you know when it's go time. He was just letting you know. I don't know why though.
I mean, like it's crazy that this shit is still happening. I seen somebody was like, "Oh, you make a mistake once and stuff, blah blah, you get it, but you do it multiple times. It's like it's no longer mistakes, it's choice. He's doing this like as a choice. So I don't know. Hopefully, he get his shit together. But right now, it's just the suspension might be crazy as fuck. They might make a lesson out of his ass. I know. You see what Fat Joe said? Fat Joe was saying they need to send his ass to China and Turkey like they did AI and Marbury.
Bye, nigga.
That's what he was saying. Translation, bye, nigga. That's what he was saying. So it's, hopefully he gets his shit together, but right now it's not looking good. Would you want him in Chicago? Would you want Ja Morant to end up in Chicago or nah? That might make him lose his mind even more, though.
Right.
That somebody was like, "Yeah, send him to Chicago. He gonna turn into Von Morant." Right. He gonna be listening to Dirk crazy then.
Man, it's gonna be lit though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
For sure, yeah.
We need to go ahead and put a package together. Get my boy down here.
We'll give up Lonzo for sure. Take the problem off, the Grizzlies' hands. Lonzo whenever he
You need
start
to give
playing again.
give him Zach LaVine.
I don't know, but hopefully, Ja Morant gets his shit together. Hopefully the situation gets better. It's not looking good. He's probably gonna get a lengthy suspension. But
Man.
let's switch over to the NFL. I got one segment for us that we're gonna do every episode for the next couple episodes. Let's predict the season. Let's predict the division, who's gonna win the division, and let's rank the 4 teams in the division as a whole. So let's start off with the NFC East this year. Who do you think is going to win this division?
Man. NFC East, I like the Eagles to run it back.
Okay. And if you had to, who would come in second, you think?
I think the Cowboys will do what they usually do.
Okay. Giants might be coming up their neck.
Win. They'll be like 11-6. Nah, the Giants are gonna be shit.
You don't think so?
You ain't catch lightning in the bottle 2 years in a row. Hell no.
Yeah, Darren Waller, he might be banged up a lot in the year too. Who knows?
I know, might be.
I'm still gonna draft him in fantasy though. He might go crazy though. Still,
if he's there, you take him. But he gets the targets you want at tight end, so you'll run the risk in fantasy. But in real life, his ass ain't gonna be there a good chunk of the season. So I'll go with the Giants. I think all 3 of those teams could easily make the playoffs, but
once again,
at the same time, somebody has to fall off, right? You can't just the Giants got lucky at 9-7.
Yeah.
I don't see them making it back again. Teams are gonna actually take them serious, and Daniel Jones is gonna show you who he really is. Dallas, they're always gonna be up there. I think they'll still be up there. Philly the same. Washington,
they're gonna be ass next year. I think they're gonna be ass.
Right.
Hot ass. They're gonna have Sam Howell starting at quarterback. So we'll see what that is. I mean, I'm marking them as a dub when they play Chicago, the Bears this year. So
no question, we need our look back from last year.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I think Commanders will be 4th.
We need to put a package together to get
Chase Young.
Chase Young.
I wouldn't be mad at it. Hopefully, they don't give up too much and trade for that. But Chase Young, the potential's there for him to be, that next pass rusher, that next elite guy. Hopefully, he's just been battling a lot of injuries. So there is some risk there, but it's worth the risk, to be honest. That might help us get him at a cheaper rate too, cheaper deal. So, but
right.
But if I had to rank the 4 teams, I think Commanders last. I think the Giants have a better record than the Cowboys. I think they finished with a better record than the Cowboys. Might be a hot take, but I like the Giants to finish 2nd and the Cowboys 3rd, and the Eagles finished with the first best record. And they win the division. You got to flip though.
I think they'll be the top 2 seeds in the NFC.
Okay.
Maybe 3 if you throw us in there, you throw the Niners in there, and you throw the Eagles in there.
Okay. Go off, man. I ain't mad at you. But for my hot take of the week before we close out the show, I really like. I mean, this is gonna be a really bad hot take. This might end up. I should keep this motherfucker in the drafts, but I think the Heat beat the Celtics in 7. I think Jimmy B get his revenge on Boston. I like Butler to ball out in this playoffs.
I think Boston wins in 5.
5 games?
Mm-hmm.
That's your hot take?
Mm-hmm.
So you give Jimmy
Boston in 5.
You give
Denver in 6.
Okay. You give Jimmy Butler one great performance and that's it?
his great performances won't be enough against them.
That's if that's if they play good. Boston's been a little inconsistent though. They've had some nights where they have a lot of their players not ball out and play to the level we're all accustomed to. Malcolm Brogdon was a huge addition though. He's been playing to a good level too, off the bench,
He's
But
been consistent, and JT just dropped 50 in Game 7. So
oh
all
yeah,
that other shit,
yeah,
is he ready?
yeah.
He's going in as high as he's ever been.
If JT drops
50 in
50,
Game 7.
it don't matter what the fuck Jimmy Butler do.
It don't matter.
If he can do that, but how many times do you think he's gonna be able to do that? I don't think he'll be able to.
He don't need to do it that much. He might have to close out the series with that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's it.
That's what I'm most excited to see though. Jimmy Butler versus Jason Tatum. I almost called him Justin Tatum. I was thinking of the real JT. But no, yeah, those two battling it out should be interesting. Jimmy Butler gonna be guarding him too. Bam. If Bam could show up, if he could be a presence, if he could be in the game doing something. K Love, he has experience in the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of storylines to watch, and we're gonna keep covering these games. Whatever game happens, we'll give a reaction to it. Miami Heat versus Celtics, Denver versus the Lakers. We're gonna be giving you reactions to each of the games and covering everything you need to know. NFL, it's getting to the dead period, but we'll still be covering that, giving you all the stuff you need to know. Hopefully by the next episode, the Bears have made a move for a pass rusher, trademark it, or, signing somebody, hopefully something. Give me something. But yeah, we'll be covering it all. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Kyrie was on Twitter. He said, the 2021 Nets, they would have won it all had he not gotten hurt against, the Bucks in that series. What are your thoughts on that? Because it doesn't fucking matter because they still lost.
Yeah, it don't matter.